Tonight's next honoree is a good example that you don't just enroll at Aquinas, you join a family, or what Dennis Sadler calls Team Aquinas. Like any team, there are different roles. Some are big, some are small, some are very unique, but everyone makes the team better. Pat Duggan and his wife Sue made the team in 1976 when their first son stepped foot at Aquinas. And they were great team players, versatile, willing to handle a variety of positions, parents association, sports boosters, and maybe most importantly, the Aquinas bingo program. You see, Pat was the bingo caller back in the 80s when Aquinas decided they needed a public address announcer for sports games. Apparently, his dulcet tones with the I-18s and the G-53s were more than enough resume for Mr. Sadler, who requested that Pat take his talents from the bingo hall to the press box. Pat's transition from B10 to First and 10 was seamless enough to make him the original voice of the Irish for decades. Please welcome to the podium our next honoree for meritorious service, Pat Duggan.
I always wondered why my wife on Friday nights wanted to go to boys' basketball games. There he is, Thad Brown. I always thought she just wanted to listen to me, but she did that every day anyhow. Many thanks to those who made this award possible, especially a fellow who passed away, Gary Page, who many years ago put my name up for nomination. I'm only sorry that Gary couldn't be here today. We shared the basketball scoring table for many years, and he was always a gentleman and a great soccer coach. Also to John Nuccitelli, who got me going with the mission bouts when he filmed the mission bouts and he asked me to do the commentary. And that was back in the old gym. And we sat too close to the ring. When I got home, my wife would say, "Where'd you get all that blood from?" So John, thank you. My thanks to my parents for giving me a Catholic education. I'm sorry not here at Aquinas, but at St. Joe's in Buffalo. Oh, Sissy, did you graduate from St. Joe's? To my wonderful wife, Suzanne, who we were married for 52 years when she passed away. She spent many a night, many a Saturday, at track meets, swim meets, basketball games. The kids really kept us busy because they were into everything. My son Patrick is here tonight. He's a graduate of Niagara University with Mr. Daly. My son Mike works for the U.S. Army after 24 years in the Navy. He retired from the Navy on Friday, went to work for the Army on Monday. And he's lucky enough to travel all over the world as a biomedical engineer for the Army. And my son Dennis, who graduated, you know, you gotta ask a wife when they graduated because fathers don't remember things like that. 83, thank you. Dennis went to Cazenovia College and graduated from graphic design from Rochester Institute of Technology and owns his own business today. He couldn't be here because his business is too good. And I keep telling him, send Dad some money. My brother Jack and I purchased a 3-bedroom house in Palm Harbor, Florida, last year. And it's right on a canal off the Gulf of Mexico. And it came equipped with dolphins and manatees. So it's a great little place and good saltwater fishing. Sue and I were lucky to go to Ireland before she passed away. I told the guide one day, I said, you know, you must get up awful early. He said, why is that? I said, you get up and paint everything green. It's a beautiful country. We went from Dublin all the way over to Belfast. Belfast was a little, even though it was okay at that time, but all the signs are still up, the barbed wire's still up. We went to the dry docks where the Titanic was outfitted before its fateful voyage, and also to Cork, which was the last port of call for the Titanic. It's a great trip, and I would recommend it to anybody. You don't have to be Irish. It was only one page to begin with, but when I made it bigger so I could read it, that's what happens when you get old. So I would like to thank all who had a hand in making this recognition possible, and I leave you with 2 words that the old-timers will remember. Touchdown, Aquinas. Thank you.